Hello comic book fans, today we are talking about Isom Issue 1, a brand new comic book character by a brand new comic book universe known as the RIPPAVERSE, written by Eric July, Cliff Richards as the artist, and Gabe El-Taib with the colors. Going into this story, it really gives us a sense in the pulse of what Flores Park is like, what this new world is like. Super powered beings and humans live among each other, not very wholesomely, it's not very calm. There is struggles back and forth, and that's when we get mention of this super police force known as Alpha Corps as well, and a certain redhead that I know that we will see in the future of the Rippaverse. The story really sets itself by introducing the main character, Avery Silman, and he is practicing on his farm. He lives alone when he gets a call from his sister Altona to check on Jasmine. He doesn't want to do it, he'd rather stay alone, but he knows he has to do it, or else the people that rely on him, like his mother, will be disappointed. So Avery figures might as well get this over with and see what is up with this girl Jasmine. That's when we turn to Yara. She's fighting the police in the street. We don't know the situation, but it looks like she's defending herself while getting attacked by the police. And that is when the Alpha Corps comes in, the police force to come and stop her. The only issue is that she seems stronger than them, but they're assembled ready to take her down. That's when we cut away and get back to Avery trying to get Mr. Fontano's attention, and Mr. Fontano tries to act like a rich guy, act like he, really doesn't care about the situation, but Avery knows the real him, so he cuts through all the BS and he gets his attention, his true attention. That's when Mr. Fontano tries to belittle Avery, but Avery's not going for it. He never cared. He, even from high school, when it was kids, he never cared. And then that's when Mr. Fontano tries to threaten him and tries to just push him out. He obviously knows what's going on with Jasmine, but Avery doesn't care about Jasmine right now. He cares about the respect and the disrespect that was just given to him by Mr. Fontano, and so then he starts beating up all his guys because now it's personal just between them. That's when he meets Santuan, this massive guy which is known as an Accept, a superhuman, and that's when Avery gets beat up because he went into this head first and didn't really think about it, and so he paid the price brutally. And then he tries to fight Santuan, but obviously this guy is way stronger than he is, or seems that way, and then that's when he crashes right into Yara, and that's when Avery and Yara crash into each other. The bigger issue is that Yara thinks that Isom works for the Alpha Corps, and Avery thinks that Yara is one of Mr. Fontano's bodyguards, and then they clash. Yara gets upset because Avery's a lot more stronger than she's probably used to, so she picks him up by the neck, takes off in the air, and then launches him straight back down to earth. And as Avery says here, he's trained his body to do everything, but the one thing he can't do is fly. So he takes that hit, crashing all the way back down, landing on top of a car, and it is bad enough to put him out for the day. That's when we cut back into the countryside and get to see how the people are that are behind Avery, the good people that they are, and how they operate, and a situation that will lead into Isom 2 that's be a very main issue within the entire story of Isom, of this arc. Then we go back to the hospital where Avery was because he suffered the damage from Yara, proving how strong she was, but he's also very strong himself, and he doesn't even stay in the hospital. He jumps out the window, he gets out of there, and that's when his sister comes and picks him up, and she is beating herself up about this entire situation because of the things that Avery had to go through, but he lets her know that it's nothing off his back and he got the situation. He's taking it very personally. And I like how we go back into the countryside and we get more of how these people are, how his best friend is, and how he operates with the other employees, which are they're also friends as well. And I enjoy this part of Isom. I feel like people didn't understand this part of Isom because Avery understands that his anger is getting the best of him. He understands that the worst parts of him is coming out in this situation instead of focusing on Jasmine. And then we get these extra characters in here that I wouldn't particularly per se villains, but they don't have good intentions. It's more of a business thing. And with Isom, everybody's meeting up at this club. It is nighttime, and Isom is back where he started during the day. Avery's not giving up in this pursuit. He's not exactly a detective, and that is shown. He's more of a brute. He's more upfront. He's just going to ask the questions, get to the people he needs to get to. In this situation, he finds Jasmine, but he can't get any clear answers out of her. And just before he feels like he might get somewhere, the guards get to him first. And Isom is not really the kind to de-escalate situation, but to just finish the situation. And that's when he just says screws it and starts fighting the guards. He takes out the first two and he just keeps it moving. The guy's moving like Jason Voorhees through these guards, and they can't stop him because Avery is an accept. He's not regular. He's a superhuman. And now he is just blind and rage. He's not thinking straight. He really doesn't care. He just wants to put his fist through people. And he understands this about himself. So it's not the fact that he's just acting just to act. He understands, okay, my situation with Jasmine is here, but my anger and the things that he's emotionally feeling is taking a bigger hold of him. And he's handling the situation, but he's handling it very brutally. And that's when he just starts beating up all the guards in the club. And this is when he has his rematch with Santuan. Santuan is a massive guy. The guy can take a tank. He can destroy or rip apart a tank. And Avery is about to fight this guy again, and this time around Avery is more prepared because he understands Santuan now. And that's another thing about this character Avery, is that he learns and adapts to each fighter. I think that's one thing that needs to be paid attention to, because he's not doing the same things he did last time. This time he's doing different maneuvers. He's actually taking this fight more seriously. Even though he's angry, he's focused still. And even though Santuan is still strong, he still gets a few good hits out of him. Avery he has more agility, and he uses that to his advantage and finally puts out Santuan, putting him down for the count. Santuan's out of here. And Avery knows he just caused a lot of attention to himself, and that's when he decides to leave. And that's when we get to see more of the agility side of Avery. He scales the wall with ease and runs from rooftop to rooftop. Very daredevil-like. I think he could definitely keep up with somebody like him with his level of agility. And that's when he decides to go into his sister's house, Altona, and he tells her everything that happened, the back and forth. And that's when we see Altona's daughter, which is his niece, and we get this awesome uncle and niece back and forth, which is a very wholesome part of the story. And between Avery and his sister Altona, they can't really find anything concrete on what Jasmine really got herself into. So then we make our way over to Darren Fontano, explaining city of Flores Park is big, and that even though there are many dogs in the city, he wants to be the big dog, the alpha of the city. This is where we turn to Avery meeting up with his old friend Cedric, which had went from a small-time costume maker to have built an empire creating suits for different beings on and off planet. And this is when they have their talk, and Cedric tells Avery, if I give you your suit back, you cannot quit this time. This is it. And Avery agrees because he has something to fight for. There's something out there, and Avery is going to get back in the suit of Isom and find out what's going on. And that's the end of Isom issue 1. Now, what I like about this is that we get different characters at the end of the story. This band, and it's a rock band, and it looks very awesome, but there's something to them. They're actually gods and musicians of some type of form, and it's a team of them. And the main character that caught my eye is Valadan. I want to see more of him in the future of the Rippaverse. And as they talk more, we get more insight on them. They are called Norfolka. That is their band name, and I think that that's also just their actual superhero team name together. And something is coming to Earth, and they are preparing themselves for what's ever to come. I want to see more of these characters. They look very awesome. We have yet to have a Norfolka issue 1, and that's still something I am waiting for out the Rippaverse. What else will I have for this one? I really liked Isom issue 1, and it took a lot to make this video. I hope you guys enjoy the video, like and subscribe for more.